Is there a way to see everybody's face, or can I only see 3 other people at a time?
Are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone.
I think the phone's more limited, yeah.
Darn. Okay. I'll just keep scrolling through.
I know, it's kind of a bummer. All right.
How does the muting work? Like, mine's automatically muted. Does it go back to mute?
You just went muted, and then so you can mute and unmute yourself. No, I can't. Oh, there you are. You see that? You must have figured it out, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So Kelsey and I we were talking, and she's going to start and share something that really was so powerful when she shared it with me this morning. And then after that, we really just want to go and let you guys do a lot of the talking, and kind of share best practices as far as what's working for you right now. So we can kind of just give each other ideas as far as what's working on social media or, in conversation. So as Kelsey's sharing, kind of be thinking maybe of some ideas that you might want to share with each other here.
Are you ready for me to take it away?
I am. You go for it.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt. So, okay, cool. So, as you guys know, I'm wrapping up the Miracle Morning right now, the book. And I'm not even kidding you. If you haven't read that book or listened to it, you need to put on your to-do list, because there's just so many things in that book. I got it thinking it was just going to be about mornings. And I'm like, how is he going to talk about it for 7 hours? Good, you just ordered it. Awesome. And it's so much more than that. He goes into detail on network marketing, and it's just everything, the whole book. I'm just nodding my head. So anyways, today what he was really talking about is when you're talking to people about the business opportunity, how we need to not necessarily try to think of, and I know you've probably heard this before, but just not convincing people or trying to persuade them or anything like that, but really just become a really good storyteller. And when we're listening to the National Week of Calls, when we're on calls like this and people are sharing our stories, to really take note of that and either jot it down or just remember. And when somebody has a fear or hesitation saying, you know what, I don't have time to do it, then you can say, well, my friend, I know this girl so-and-so, and she's working 3 jobs and whatever her story is. And you can back that up and kind of debunk that fear or hesitation. Or sometimes you'll hear of people saying, I have a lot of kids, there's no way I could do that. I mean, then you look at Amber, and she's got 4, and Jen Crowder was on our call the other week, and she's got 5 boys. So you just kind of have to be these really good story collectors for when people say this in private conversation as to why they couldn't do the business or why they couldn't do a challenge group. And then you can debunk that through the stories that you've heard. So I just thought I would share that because I thought that was so powerful. And just being really good story collectors.
Yeah, I love that, because I think it's so true. A lot of times when someone will come up to me with an objection, I feel well, gosh, she's, obviously I can't understand what she's going through. But I think that even to kind of couple the collecting with the, well, my friend, the whole, what is it? My brain is not working clearly because I'm on the ultimate reset, but why can't I think of the 3 things?
Feel, felt, found.
Yeah.
You know how you feel, I felt the same way, and this is what I found. Yeah.
Yeah. So even to say that about, well, my friend felt that way, but then she found, and kind of share stories that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's really good. So if you don't have a friend that, just today, Bridget was telling us that she and Erin and Carla are all success partners. And it's really neat because they have the opposite kind of points of view. So one is a working mom outside the home, one is a working mom in the home, and then the other is a stay-at-home mom. And so they're constantly talking with each other like on a daily basis, so they're keeping each other's perspectives. I think sometimes it can be so easy to get like one tracked with your current situation. So I really liked that idea too, to kind of, you know, partner up with people that might have a different story than you. All right, so I will just go ahead and open it up. And if no one talks, we'll just start calling on you because we know you guys all have great ideas. But let's just start with maybe some things that have been working really well with social media. And even if like you're like, well, everyone probably knows that already, I guarantee there's coaches that may not know that, even if some do. So don't feel like anything you have to share is, you know, not good enough or whatever. So social media, anything that you've noticed that's working well?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question because I've been trying to do the Insta stories and Facebook My Day this week. I'm just trying to figure it out. And I'm interested in people's experience because the Instagram, I get a lot of views. I get like 100 views of my story, but Facebook I'll get like 12. So I don't know, is it not as popular on Facebook? Is there different things to attract attention to your stories that you guys do? And how many stories do you usually do in a day? I'm just still kind of figuring it out.
That's a great question.
Personally, I feel like the Facebook thing is brand new, so people don't know what it is. Before they actually rolled it out and announced what it was and people upgraded their software, I was seeing like pictures popping up in people's messages with me, and I thought it was spam, so I wouldn't click on them ever. I didn't know what it was, and so I would just ignore it. And then when Facebook finally told me, it was like, we rolled out this, you know, new thing that's like Instagram stories. I was like, oh, that's what I've been seeing. So I think that it's just taking a little bit for people to understand what it is. That was my hesitation with it, because I get a lot better with the Instagram stories than anything else, even my Snapchat. I do better on the Instagram. But for me, I didn't know what it was before Facebook really first announced it.
Anyone else?
As far as times a day on the Insta story, Snapchat, those types of things, I think it was Brock Johnson on his Snapchat training from a few weeks ago. He talked about, I think he was on that training. I also bought his academy, so I may be mixing it up, but about 11 times a day is how many, like the average person snaps or does Insta stories. So I think that would be a good goal. And if you really think about it, they're like 10 or 15 seconds, you're looking at like a couple minutes worth of content.
Good. Yeah, Jesse just mentioned that we should probably tell people to follow us there, which is a really good point. Like, if you're on Instagram or even if you're on Facebook Live, to tell people that they can follow you there to kind of educate them, because we're like looking for new ways to be on social media, but other people are probably gonna. Like even today, my phone just updated today with the I'm like always the last one to update my phone. So it finally updated today to show the stories, and Jake's has been on there for a while. So people are probably just still getting it. Other thoughts on stories?
How do you guys vary what you do on each platform? Because I remember Brock talking about or maybe it was you guys in the last call, like not wanting to do the same type of stories or the same ones on every single platform like Snapchat, Facebook stories, and Instagram. So do you guys have tips on like how to vary that and mix it up? So you're not just sharing the same information every time?
I think for me, because I noticed one of them you can use a saved photo, and the other one you have to actually take the photo within the app. Is that the case? Because I think Instagram, I can't upload a photo. So I normally do my Insta story, and then that photo is saved in my phone, and then I can upload that photo on my Facebook story. But I basically just do the same because I have very different audiences in both. So can anyone confirm that? I think that's the case.
Yeah.
I think
Jessica,
Yeah.
this is Carla. I watched a Bob Heiling training a few days ago about Facebook stories as well as Instagram stories. So I actually share the same things across both platforms because I have different followings. And you can upload those Facebook stories to Instagram by pulling up from the bottom and loading those stories.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
yeah, Jesse Stuckey had posted a really great Instagram training as it relates to stories. Jesse, I don't know if you can share that link again, but I found that really helpful when I started.
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll post it in a second.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, because you can take pictures from your camera roll within 24 hours of taking them.
Thanks. That's really helpful. Thank you, Carla.
Yeah,
And
you're
Jesse.
welcome.
What else on social media or stories or whatever has been working well, or questions are great too.
I feel like a broken record, but it's always Facebook Live. Every time I get away from it, my traction tanks, and every time I get more consistent with it, my traction goes up on my like page. Even if the video itself didn't do that well, the posts that follow it get way more traction than they ever would have before. So I just feel like being really consistent about doing Facebook Live either like every day or every other day really increases my traction on Facebook. And I don't even, as soon as I figure out what I've been doing on Instagram to get more followers, I'll let you guys know. I don't even know what I've been doing, but my followers have been increasing quite a bit lately. I don't know if I found a hashtag that's working. I have no idea, but I'll look into that one. But Facebook Live is like everything right now for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go ahead and say one more thing. Yeah, about the Facebook Live. It's funny because I've been trying to post more often on Facebook Live, and even when I think the video itself is like horrible, like I just think like, oh, okay, that was crazy. Like I just hopped on, I didn't say anything I meant to say, and that sounded chaotic and insane. But everybody has loved it. So I think just being super authentic and not really having to rehearse, but just jumping on and sharing quickly what you want to share and hopping off has been really successful for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know if some of you guys didn't see, I shared one of Jessica's videos the other day in our group because it's so true. Like I was freaked out to do live for so long because, you can't control your kids' behaviors when you're live. And so I was so nervous. But I do think people get a kick out of kind of seeing the real life stuff and kind of how you respond to the real life stuff. And because it kind of, shows really who you are outside of a controlled environment. So I love it. I mean, Jessica is one where I'm like, if I see that she's on live, like I'm popping on because I have to see, what's going to happen. Or like, I don't know, the other day she said something like, I'm so scared about what's going on behind me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can totally relate. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you want people to be thinking when they watch your videos. So I love that idea to kind of be real. And Carla too brings her girls into it. And even Rowan sometimes, and it's like, yeah, like, like sometimes your girls will say stuff, and you can kind of tell you're trying to figure out what to say to them. But I don't know, like I personally love the real life moments there.
I feel like it's inevitable though that at least Ruby always acts up when I go live. She's like, fine. And I'm like, okay, this is a great time to go live. And I'm like, this is the time you're going to scream and cry.
That's so true. It's like I always, like I've been telling Kelsey when, with the twin stuff, I said the question I always ask myself is like, well, what's the worst that can happen? And sometimes I ask myself that about live video too. And I'm like, well, like the worst that happens, they see my real life, and you know what? Like it's not perfect, so take me or leave me kind of thing. But yeah, Facebook Live is definitely it still makes me have butterflies for sure.
Ashley Eagles, do you have anything that you want to share about Facebook? I feel like your posts have been really good lately.
Yes.
Um, lately I've just been, more vulnerable and showing more of my struggles than, instead of like, oh yeah, I completed that workout. I had an awesome workout. So like my biggest one, which that's what I've been writing down, everyone that has liked or reached out to me when I told everyone that I just broke down and had a little, F it all moment. Because I think as moms and women in general, we all have those F it moments. And that was just like, just one thing led after another. And it all came down with not being able to do a goddamn move in the chisel balance, and that just led into, like seriously, like, why am I working out? Why am I, eating healthy? Why am I even doing this business part? Why, it just all came crashing down. And I think it made people a lot more relate to me and not seeing those perfections. And I know at the beginning of all of this, I was really good at sharing those imperfections, but I kind of got, on the train of, hey, I've done this. I've been working out for these past 3 months. I'm budgeting. We paid off these, like highlighting a lot of awesome accomplishments, but I think people also need to see those hiccups to get to those accomplishments. So yeah, my goal lately has just been focusing more on the hiccups instead of the accomplishments themselves.
I love that.
I love that
Because I think you're so right. I just feel like when we show just the highlight, almost the highlight reel, then people feel like, oh, they're perfect. Like, I could never do that. I could never coach. I could never be in a challenge group because I'm not perfect. And it gets other people feeling very anxious about it versus when you really do share like the ups and the downs and just like the whole journey, then people are like, okay, I know it's not going to be perfect, but I can do it because she's doing it,
Right. Well, and like one of the girls who commented, they're like, actually, you always seem like you have your shit together. I'm like, oh, trust me. I don't. And she's like, well, you have me fooled. And in a way, I don't want to fool people, like, so I'm trying to change my mindset. I don't want people to think that it's easy. It can't, anybody can do it, or I'm, something special or some kind of crazy, right, to do what I've been doing.
No, I love that. I had the same struggle when I started coaching because basically 3 years of my blog was all like, my life sucks. And then I started working out and I sort of became a little bit more, in a weird way, unrelatable, I think, to people because I started to have a little bit of my life together. And so I still find myself, really like, of course you want to share the stuff that's going right because people need to have a reason to want to work with you. But really, I agree, like to share those real life moments of how you're still struggling and still, I just love all that, Ashley. It's so good. And your post the other day was just like so awesome.
And to comment on the Facebook Live thing about children, I went live in my in a private group for challengers, and I took my 2-year-old to the bathroom and helped her get on the toilet one-handed while on live and wiping her bottom and everything. And her, mommy, close the door. I need to go number 2. So I'm like, okay, well, there you go. And people loved it. Like you said, like people, I feel like I'm getting a lot more viewers like in that challenge group now because they want to know what my girls are about to do.
Yeah, it's so good. All right, who else has something to share or ask?
Well, Christy's already recruited 2 this month.
Woo! What?
I think she's got something to share. I'm going to just start calling people out.
Yes.
I was just waiting for my name to be called. I feel like I kind of tweaked things a while back, so I'm sure I have anything where you could like go back to my page like yesterday and see a big improvement. Although I need to go back and listen to the National Wake Up Call again because I feel like I need to redo them again. But really my recruitment, which I have 3 today, by the way, send another one, but they have been a work in progress. That's like the 60 to 90 day rule in effect right there, because I've been talking to them as far as coaching, but I really kind of did this, the whole gremlin. I don't remember who on the National Wake Up Call was talking about, bringing their gremlins out to light. That really spoke to me, and I've been doing that and just kind of posting about my daily life. And if something comes to mind, yesterday my live video was about just how I get things done and how I don't care if I don't get things done anymore. Like I make a list of what I need to get done every day, including my workout and my kids and my family. And if it doesn't get done, like today for like the 5th day in a row, I looked at my husband, I'm like, look at my counters, and I just don't even care. Like I don't care. It's not on top of my priority list right now. So just sharing things like that and just being more real, like Ashley was saying, but really just being real. It's been freeing myself, and it's really just kind of attracted very much like-minded people. So once I kind of narrowed in on my niche, which I will say I've been fighting for quite a while. I mean, I've been coaching for over a year now, and I'm still was like, I want to help everybody. And then every once in a while I would narrow in for a few months and then be like, no, I just kind of want to help everybody again. But once I really narrowed down and stuck with it, I have obviously been recruiting more and just having more traction on my posts and feeling better about it. So
That's so awesome. Yeah. Speaking of counters, it reminded me of Caitlin, one of your posts. I think it was last week maybe, about counters. She like took up, if you guys didn't see it, she took a picture of like her bathroom counter that was cluttered with stuff. And
I'm disgusting with makeup, and it was gross.
So what did you find? Like, was that post, did you get a lot of love on it?
Oh yeah. I think it's like everything else. It's like what you're most embarrassed about and what you like would definitely clean up before guests come over. Like that's the kind of stuff that people are like, oh my gosh, she just posted that. And like it's for me, and it definitely makes you relatable on a whole new level, right? Because people are like, yeah, that's what mine looks like, right? And people who do have all their crap together and are all clean and stuff, I don't know if that we'd get along all that great anyway. So, right? So it's partly, you're not going to attract everyone, but the people who can connect with that are like glued to you after that. They feel connected to you.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. I know, I saw that post and I was like, really? She has dirty counters too?
Right? Yeah. I think a lot of people thought that.
What else? How about Instagram? How has Instagram been going for you guys?
I actually posted when the deal came out. I had like an in-your-face post about being a coach and about the deal. And that was really the first time that I actually made it blatant with word swag, where it was like all over. And I lost a ton of people. And it was like, what? Wait, what? Like, you'll follow me because I'm not in your face, because you're probably not actually reading everything I'm writing, which is okay. But a little discouraging. And then it was like, well, you know what? Those are people that they're not real followers anyway. And it's been slowly building back up. But now it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know what to do going forward now that I did it once. And it was like, I lost like 15 people.
No, it's just a learning process. I have posts like that too. And I'm just like if I look back, it's like, why did I ever post that? And sometimes I'll even delete them. Like I will go back through my really old posts. Like I had some really embarrassing ones in the beginning. But it's like, don't be hard on yourself. You'll figure it out. And I think, to Shalene, I felt like what Shalene said on Monday's National Makeup Call was really good about that too, because I think that's what it is. We're just so excited about it, but sometimes our excitement doesn't come across to other people as like cool. So you kind of just got to figure it out. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. You're going to lose people as you kind of figure everything out. And like you said, they probably wouldn't be lifers anyway. So.
Yeah, I made tons of mistakes when I first started. Basically, I don't even remember whose training it was. Not too long ago, it was something about social media, and it was like they listed out all the things you don't do, and it was like 90% of those I had done. Okay, wow, that's great. Like no product blasting, no like announcing that you're a coach, no kissing your Shaco. I did that, and I totally I thought about deleting it, and the only reason I didn't because I was kind of like, well, that just shows you like how far I've come. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I did all of that. I think the more like traction that I get is coming from just kind of like picking like a branded look, like no matter, kind of helps a little bit. Just being really consistent about if I want to use a certain filter, am I freezing? Like using the same filter all the time or using the same text all the time, that kind of stuff. I feel like that's helped me lately. And then just trying to get away from like the coach hashtags. I still get recruited a lot by a lot of other people. And so I assume that's because I'm not putting it out there that I'm a coach all the time, which is great. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what is working so that I can keep doing that, but I'm not quite sure what it is yet. I don't know.
No, that's true though. I think a branded look, you do a really good job at that. That helps a lot.
Yes, you do a very good job at that, Marissa. I'll second it.
I don't know how long you guys have all been on Instagram, but I literally joined probably in like December. So can somebody talk about like how long it takes to build the following and I guess how to be more patient with that? So being on for only a few months now and then plus joining as a coach in January. So I didn't have a lot of time to do anything on it before I joined. Like, can somebody just talk about how long they've been on and building it and how long it's taking and what they're doing?
So for me, when I was first starting, I had like 200 followers, and they were all people that I knew really well. A couple things that I thought that I would get along with, I did that like every day. I don't do that very much anymore, but I did invest in Instagram. Oh. Maybe I'll just type this out. I don't know if it's cutting out.
I can go. Am I cutting out?
No.
Okay. Everyone's shaking their heads. I didn't know if it was her internet or what, but okay. So when I started as a coach, I had maybe like 100 and some followers on Instagram, and I've been coaching now for 4 years. And I'm at what, like, I don't even know what I'm at right now. 24.8. So I made it that was my huge goal when I started as a coach. I loved Instagram when I started. And so I was like, I'm going to make that my jam. So I made it a huge effort to go out there and search hashtags and find new people to talk to. And I really I won't know that I called it. Like, I don't know if you guys got on Angie Belmar's call from last week, but I don't know if I did the 5-3-1 that she was talking about, but I was pretty similar where you like 5 photos, you comment on 3 photos, and if you like the person, you follow them back. And I remember like in the notes section of my phone putting like April, this is how many Instagram followers I have. Facebook, this is how many friends I have. And then looking at the end of the month and having a goal for how many new contacts I wanted to have. And so like I always made it a goal to up at 100 on each account. So I wanted at least 6 new, basically 200 new people on between both accounts. And I would go out there and I would just search hashtags on Instagram while I'm learning, trying to figure out how to brand myself and all these other things on Instagram. I was doing that, and it takes time, but I will say that I feel like once you get it kind of figured out, it snowballs. I mean, it just like the momentum picks up on it and it just kind of kicks in. So that's all I have to say about that.
The Instagram, it's a weakness of mine that I've been trying to focus on, but then I feel like I get to doing my power hour, and then like I think I just need to like allocate a certain amount of time. But I've rewatched the Jen Richardson training from Team Hardcore like 3 times, I think, and it's good. Like once you do brand yourself, like she kind of walks you through like what hashtags to look for and kind of scope them out, because a lot of them are coaches. Like I have new coaches that follow me all the time, and I'm like, are you just following me because you're not looking at my profile, But Jen's training was really good, and she was one that was like, it does take time. So I think you just have to refocus that time if you want Instagram to go, and mainly I'm telling myself this, but it's a really good training, I thought. So but I think she does the 5-3-2-1 or something like that too.
Yeah, and I would say for me, I wasn't like one of the first people on Instagram, but I, like Kelsey, I just loved it. I thought it was fun to share photos, and I didn't really even think about growing a following until I just had the twins, and this is like when I was brand new to hashtags. I mean, I thought hashtags were just like to be funny. I didn't know they had a purpose. And so when I had the girls, I was in the hospital room and I just like posted a picture of them and said hashtag twin mom and like thought it was cute. All of a sudden I got all these followers and I was like, what is this? And so that's when I kind of started looking into hashtags, and I think really finding like, again, just finding your niche. But I did something similar. I mean, it wasn't anything like the 5-3-1, it wasn't anything like specific. I just made a point every day I was going to comment on 10 people, on 10 accounts, and then I would like pictures too. And then kind of to make notes, like Kelsey said, about who you really kind of like, because especially now, so Instagram has definitely changed in the last year, because they switched from it being like, whatever you would see was the time, like basically whatever was first, like newly posted was what you see first. And now it works like Facebook, where, it uses the algorithm. So you're just seeing stuff like you do on Facebook. So it's definitely changing. It has changed a lot. And I noticed a big slowdown when that happened. I think because I wasn't being as consistent. I've definitely noticed that when I'm really consistent, just like on Facebook, that's when I have a lot of growth. So even if I, like this weekend, if I didn't post on Saturday because I was with friends, and I think maybe I did one post on Sunday, or maybe I didn't even do any. And I noticed on Monday, I was like, oh my gosh, that picture only got like a few likes. And it was because I kind of took the pedal off. So I think that's important, but it does take time. But I totally agree with Kelsey that even though in the beginning it feels like it takes forever, it snowballs. Like once you get to 1,000 followers, people kind of look at you like, oh, other people are following this person, I will too. And then it just really goes a lot faster, I feel like, from there. But yeah, I think stories for me lately has been so awesome, because I have random conversations with people over, like yesterday, I could not pronounce like this vegetable that I have for the Ultimate Reset, and I totally butchered it. And I literally had 20 messages back telling me how to pronounce it right. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. Now I can talk to you. So like, you never know what's going to trigger people to kind of, but I think, again, it just goes to be personal and real. And from what I've heard from my coaches who started out, so this was like 2 years ago, and the ones that have been really consistent are now at like 3,000-ish followers, I would say. They said it really like the attraction marketing piece kind of started right around the 2000s for them. So like you might get a few along the way. I'm not saying you won't, but I think that it really like becomes a legitimate, you know, leg of your business as you keep growing that big. So I've been so impressed with you guys on Instagram. Like, I love following you. Even if you weren't my coaches, I'd follow you because you're so real. I love it. We have a few more minutes. Does anyone else have anything or any questions, or like even what's working well in terms of talking to people, you know, on Messenger or in person, stuff like that? Trista, you've been doing a really great job too. You've been like so consistent. I've noticed that. Have you noticed an up in traction?
Hit or miss. So I don't know if Bridget said, but we're doing the social team build. I paid in to do that, and just some things are going on at work right now. So some things have gotten put on hold, but that's the biggest thing, and learning how to actually advertise behind the scenes is a big part. And I think once Bridget and I learned a lot more, so I had like 10 videos going that were like outside market, had nothing to do with my page, and no one actually could really see them unless, I don't know really where they even pop up. That's the thing. I'm still trying to figure it out. And you do have to put money out for it. So I think after spending about $20, I gained like 150 likes. A lot were Hispanic women. I don't know. But then there were a few, I would say probably about 50 people that I had kind of looked into and kind of were normal, kind of fit my mold kind of thing. So that's the biggest thing. And then recently on Instagram, I've been switching up my hashtags a lot more. And I've noticed I did a lot more just because being recently engaged, I switched a lot more to wedding. And that kind of stuff. And that's brought a whole new attraction. Like I have a photographer that messaged me from California. She's like, we travel if you need us. And I was like, I do need one, but I'm sure she'll be astronomical. But so that's what I think I just gained like probably like 40 or 50 people here in the last 2 days just by switching up my hashtag, which was a big gain because I've kind of hovered around like a 180 mark and it's gone up and down, up and down. So I'm trying to figure out how to get authentic people from Instagram, because it seems to be a lot of like fitness people that are totally trolling, I feel like, just trying to get you to like their page, and they'll like you and then unlike you and then like you again. So that's just the bigger thing I'm trying to figure out with Instagram, because I do like the platform on Instagram a little better with posting, but then I like Facebook Live, which I've kind of stepped away from, and you guys kind of bring it back on needing to get back on there. But it does take a lot of convincing myself to get on there and talk. And the gremlins, I haven't fully let those out of the bag yet. So I think that's going to be my next thing to see. But yeah, the 60 to 90 day, I've had a lot of people finally turn it around here in the last 2 weeks. And my Success Club went from 5 to 10. And I've already have like 4 right now, but potentially 6 or 8 here pretty soon, which is a big jump for me in the last month. So yeah, just keep working on them. Do come around. And I think Amber, you had posted it's like the 12th time, or it's like between the 7th and 12th time that people then finally decide to commit. And it's so true, because I will not tell you, I think in the last couple weeks of March, I think 3 out of the 4 people that signed up were people I'd probably been in communication with since I started in January.
That's so awesome. I love that. Let's see. Anyone else want to share before we close here?
I have a question about the Facebook Live. Like, as far as getting pushed for notifications, like sometimes it's easier for me to do it in the morning before work, and I know I'm kind of doomed to get people watching at the time. But is it still going to push me? Like, you know how you did 7 videos last week and that really helped? Am I still going to get the same traction if I'm doing it at an off time? Because I feel like I did 3 in a row last week, but they were all about 6:30 in the morning, and I had way less views than I normally do. But I just don't even know if they're even appearing to people because I'm too far outside of the time zone.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, I feel like I mean, one thing you could do is like kind of, and I think you actually did this last week, like kind of tell people when you're going to be live, because I think that the more views that you get live, the more traction it's going to get afterwards. But I think if you have no other choice, I still think it's better to do it than to not do it. You know what I mean? But I think like if you got into a routine, kind of like Bob Heilig, like where he just does it every morning, now everyone kind of knows that he does it. I feel like then people, even, you know, if they're getting ready for work or whatever, they might just like learn to tune in at that time, something that's consistent. Kelsey, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I sometimes like to cook live on my Facebook Live, and that's obviously in the evening. I get way more views. But that doesn't, I would have to do that every single night, and ain't nobody got time for that, at least in my world right now. And so I can relate to that as far as like not being at the right time. Like I've been doing it anywhere from like 11 to like 3 in a day, and sometimes it doesn't get traction at all. But I do notice it's just, I think, all about consistency. It's just doing it. Of course, if you can do it at a better time, that's going to be better. But I think doing it is better than not, or waiting for the perfect time. That's my opinion.
Yeah. By the way, if you guys don't follow Jess on Instagram stories, she's hilarious. Like, I die with her.
Shit, it's scary.
I am going to look you up now.
Lately, it's just been like pissy faces about work and kids, you know, but whatever.
Anyone else that wanted a chance to talk?
I posted something on a couple weeks ago. I told Kelsey about it, where I had a challenger that did the all access pass, and then like, I don't know, a couple weeks into it, she decided that she wanted to add Shakeology into it. So I called Coach Relations and kind of told him what was going on and what exactly she needed to do. And the guy told me that she could call and cancel her membership, her on-demand membership, and then she could purchase, they would completely refund her $99, and then she could purchase the all-access pass challenge pack. So she wouldn't be out any money for buying the all-access pass twice. So then I had another girl ask me about it today, and I called again today, and they said that, well, and maybe he just didn't tell me this the first time, but now she has to be within the 30-day window of the money-back guarantee in order to cancel her membership and then purchase a challenge pack again and it be refunded completely. So since this customer is outside that 30 days, they said that she just has to cancel her membership or just buy Shakeology HD. I didn't know if anybody who had purchased the All Access Pass because they weren't ready to do or to commit to Shakeology, and how you've gone about like getting them hooked on getting them plugged into Shakeology without having to just do HD, or I don't know. I didn't know if anybody had any experience with that.
It's good to know. I'm so glad you shared that. It's almost like if we have someone that just purchased the all access, we should like make a note before that 30 days is up to check in and make sure they don't want to add Shakeology.
Which I was thinking about it, and I was like kind of upset that they told me one thing and then now it's something else. But then I thought, well, everybody would be canceling to get half off Shakeology for 30 days now. But
right. That's interesting.
And also, I kind of felt weird. I kind of felt bad, like blasting when the discount on the All Access Challenge Pack went out on social media because I had a couple people that literally bought the day before, and then I didn't want to like rub it in their face that they didn't get so I'm trying to like wait for the freak out moment of how much they just spent on it, because a lot of them, their hesitations were cost. So I don't know if anybody had anything to say on that.
I did think about that, but I kind of thought, well, that's just sort of life, like a lot of times I'll go to a store and I'm like, dang it, it's on sale now. Like I paid full price. So like, it does suck and I feel bad, but yeah, I feel like there's just only so much we can do.
I had a friend who I had been talking to for months about doing one of my challenge groups, and she finally bought it, and it was literally like the day before it went on sale. And so I felt like really bad, and she commented on my post, and so I ended up just following up with her and being like, I'm really sorry, like I had no idea that was going to happen, because I didn't want her to think I was like
right
her into paying full price. So I ended up buying her a t-shirt, like a workout tank that they had offered as like an incentive to purchase on the last day. And so I ended up getting that for her, just sort of like, and she was really appreciative. I think she was like, you didn't have to do that. Like, she's like, I always seemed, of course, as soon as I bought it, like it would go on sale when I actually like do something on time and everything. So I just ended up getting her the shirt. So it was like, I'd rather have that good customer service experience rather than like her. I mean, not like she would have held a grudge, but I felt bad. So
I love that. That's so good. Anything else? Otherwise, Kelsey has an awesome challenge for us before we head out.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I have found that I get the most personal messages and the most comments from things that scare me. So things that I'm nervous to post, or I'm like, oh gosh, I shouldn't post this. Those are the things that people like and that it actually gets traction with. People go, oh, thank you for sharing that, even if it's very, very personal. So yeah.
That's so good. It's true. It's always the posts that you like don't even really want to share.
You used to call it the posts that make you want to vomit because you like literally do. You're like, I can't believe I'm sharing this. That's so funny.
Like you don't even want to go back and look at the comments.
Yeah.
Let's just pretend I didn't post it, okay?
All right. Well, you do want to go ahead, Kels?
Sure. Excuse me. Okay, so Amber and I talked about this last week. Moving forward, this is just something that we thought we were going to make 3 lists and just post about them often. So I'm challenging you to make these 3 lists. So the first list is basically making qualities, like writing down the qualities of your dream team, and not just saying like, I want a motivated person. Like, what does that look like? Like, spell it out. Like, what would this person be? Like, how would you tell that this person's motivated through conversation one-on-one? Like, how would you tell that this person's disciplined? Just really like, and whatever your qualities are, but really dissect those qualities. And then that's the stuff that you should be posting and showing that people that you are that, So that's one list. Then the second list is writing down everything that coaching has done for you. Like whether it's for health and fitness, whether it's for accountability, whether it's, been able to pay for groceries, whether it's the fact that Shakeology has actually saved you money, whatever it is, like write down every single thing you can possibly think of that coaching has helped you with. The community, the sky's the limit. And then the third list is objections that you get. So like, Shakeology is too expensive, or they don't have the time to do it, or whatever things that you get like in private messaging. And then take that, and then how do you respond to that in a private message? And then start to think, okay, how could I turn this into a public post where you're debunking those fears and hesitations to the masses? Because what I've found is that what you say in one-on-one private messaging, sometimes I think it sinks in for people, but then when you share it with like everybody that follows you, they're like, oh, she was serious. Like, she didn't just tell me that, she's telling everybody that. So I challenge you to write those 3 lists. And when you go to like doing your lead generators, or, you're struggling to figure out what to post for a day, look at those lists and pull something from that and make it heartfelt, put something out there, make you want to vomit, those types of posts with those things. And I think you'll see people start to be really intrigued with what you're doing and finding that your stuff's really inspiring and ultimately want to join your team. And then you'll find people that are like you because they think like you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to add on that, Amber?
No, that was perfect. You got to hold me accountable to actually do it this week, because I need a list like that.
Well, what if we all make our lists and then post them in the group message thread? Would you guys like to do that? Because sometimes, like, I'll write a list. I'm like, oh, that's a good. Like, you see somebody else, oh, that's a good quality. I want that on my dream team. Like, so it kind of gets you to start. The wheels start turning a little bit more when you're brainstorming with other people. So.
Yeah, so one thing that someone told me, like, when you're trying to think of, like, who do you want on your team, it's like, who are the people, like, what types of people, if you had a girls' weekend, like, would you want there? Because I think that kind of gives me a little more clarity in terms of, like, I don't know. Like, a lot of you right now are going to be in Minnesota this weekend, and I can't wait. So, that kind of stuff. Like, you want to look forward to those opportunities, not like, oh, my gosh, I have to hang out with her again. So.
Well, and something that Christy said when she was like, finding her niche. And I think when you are writing a post, instead of like talking to like your Facebook friends, really think about who, like your best friend. Like if you were having a glass of wine or a cup of coffee or whatever with that person, what would you say to them? Because obviously you're going to be your truest self to your best friend. So I think when you talk, like you're talking to that one person, I think is when you're going to find that you're going to attract that person that's like you to your team or to your challenge group.
And just to kind of piggyback on that, just the other night, Sunday night, for like my lead generator, I posted about kind of not pleasing everyone, like when I used to be like, fat, broke, and unhappy and all that. And then I stopped trying to please everyone and I'm now rich and healthy. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and then so everybody that liked that post, and there was quite a few of them, I go back and message them and just said, hey, thanks for liking my post about, not trying to please everybody. And just, kind of said something very, very basic, because most of them I haven't even talked to before. So then, and a lot of them write me back because that's a very open post. So they feel like they know me. They related to that. I reached out to them. So I get a lot of, when I do that on those, I just find that reaching back out to them is very beneficial, so that, they come back to me and say, yeah, I loved it. I struggle with that, or I'm working on that or something. And then I don't, of course, be like, oh, get a challenge pack. But, I go back and then we just kind of keep that communication going. And that's been really, really helpful, later on, where they feel like they trust me and know me right away. So just awesome. To back off of that, just not to like post it and just let it float out there, but really kind of get to know them and help them, because that's obviously what we're doing. So.
Hey, Christy, on that, do you ever feel like, and I haven't been doing this long enough to have this reaction really, but when you have people like your photos and it's people that you haven't been in contact for a while and you message them, do you feel like they're going to think, oh, not ever liking her picture again, because then she'll start trying to sell me something? Like, maybe that's in my head that I said, but...
I maybe will think that. And I will say probably that night I reached out to 60 people and just basically copied and pasted, hey, thanks for liking my photo. And, and I'll kind of tweak it to them, or whether I've talked to them or not. And I want to say maybe 20 of them talked back to me. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like all 60 of them are like, oh yeah. And I'm sure some of them are thinking that, but I send it anyway because on Facebook, I'm not salesy at all. There's no stock photos on there. Half of them don't even know I'm a Beachbody coach until maybe twice a week, when I say the words. So yeah, I just do it anyway. And there were a few that I sent that to that like a few weeks ago, I had written another one like, hey, thanks for liking my post yesterday. So now they have back to back like, hey, thanks for liking my post. But I haven't reached out to them since. It's not like I'm not cramming it down their throats. Now, eventually I might be like, reaching out about something different and making it towards them. Like my next message to them will be, hey, I saw your post about such and such, and then make it about them. But yeah, I have thought that, but I just do it anyway. I've learned to just be like, I don't care what people think, and because that's what my post was about, not caring what people think. So I hope that helps.
I have a question. And it's regarding like the private messaging and stuff. Like how you said you spoke to 60 people or you reached out, and I know you just said you copy and pasted, but like in that time frame, that in itself just takes so much time to just send those messages, even though it's copying and pasting. But the fact is how in the world do you find time to message all these people and like keep it so personal, like each person that messages? It's I don't know, it just takes so long, even with one person.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. That literally took me 15 minutes. I sat down last night before a TV show at 9, and I sat down at 8:45 and said, okay, I have to reach out to these 15 people, or these however many people like this post. I have to go back to last night's post. It took me 15 minutes to type basically a basic post out and send it. Most of it was copy and paste. And then to the ones I had talked to before, I would type a little something personal in there. Then at 9 o'clock, I put it away and watched the TV show. Then at 10 o'clock, when I'm done, because it's 10 o'clock here, this is like my work time, honestly, I went back and reached the ones that reached out back to me. I sent them another message, which was just a quick whatever the response needed to be. And then I just put it away and reached back out to them today. So I didn't send them, we didn't talk about, life all last night, if that makes sense. I did get back to them. So it's not just like I sent them a random, hey, thanks for liking my post, I'm not going to talk to you for 2 days. But I didn't make it a whole long conversation either. So that literally took me 15 minutes to send those 60, like 20 of them reached back out. And so I got back to them in another maybe 15 minutes and then shut her down and went to bed. I still have some to get back to today. Honestly, today was a busy day, but it's just kind of those work hours didn't happen. So if that kind of makes sense, if not, message me and we'll chat about making it simpler.
And they don't have to be like a book long message. It can seriously just be like 2 sentences.
Yeah.
I do what Christy does. Like
it was very much like, hey, thanks for liking my post yesterday about, not really caring about what people think. That's really made a difference in my life. I hope it makes a difference in yours. Like, period. Yeah. That's all.
That's perfect.
Yeah. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Well, that really gets your connects up there. Like I've been doing that as well as in my like alphabet thing, and I can knock out my 15 to 20 connects normally pretty easy. Now, like I'll add something in there. Like this one girl I connected to, she had a baby. So I'm like, how is that sweet baby? But the rest of the part was generic to everybody else. So you just got, like Kelsey says this all the time, you just got to be laser focused, like set a timer, turn your distractions off, like literally go in the bathroom if you have to for like 10 minutes and just, get 5 to 10 done. And then those are done, so it's just, you could do it. You just have to really focus and like be intentional with it. So.
Yeah, I tend to like really go off on like my conversations. It seems to like take a long time. And I'm saying that and asking that because today I talked to just 2 people and it just seemed to go on forever and, on and on and on. And it's just like, I was sitting there for a long time talking and I'm just kind of like, I need to get my workout done while the kids are napping. Like, and, I just don't have a lot of time, hardly ever, with the little ones, but I'm working on it. learning.
So if I can just give you a couple tips of advice, when you send a message and they respond right away, don't open it. Like, get through what you need to get through done first. And if you have time to respond to them back that day, awesome. But if you don't have time, you don't have time. Like, it's more important to get your however many contacts in that day, however many invites in that day, all those, than to have that one-on-one back and forth conversation with just 2 people all day long.
That's good.
I used to do, I don't know, I think you're Amanda, right? I used to do exactly that. Like, they would reply and be like, oh, okay. But then I was like getting lost. So yeah, I'll get I do my invites, my connects. And then if I still have time, if people are responding and like, maybe it was a good one, like, who's like going to be genuine in your conversations. You can tell, like, if somebody just sends me one word, I'm not going to waste, the extra few minutes I have. So then I'll go and I'll be like, okay, yeah, she's a potential. So I'm going to reply to her. So it's, Kelsey's spot on with that one, 100%. So it's hard. Really
I've had a couple of conversations that, like you said, go forever, and it's like, how am I going to get this back to fitness related? And seriously, out of the blue, I will just say something random like, hey, do you remember back in high school, which was 12 years for me, but do you remember back in high school when we used to play soccer? Are you involved in any activities now that you're an adult? Like, anything that you get away from your kids, like something just completely off the wall, random, and it doesn't fit in the conversation at all, but it gets the conversation geared towards that way. So no shame. I'm not going to die. That's what I keep telling myself on everything. I'm like, I'm not going to die.
Yeah, I'm really working on that, what Shalene talked so much about on, the National Wake Up Call, because so much of this is like, I'm not good with marketing. I'm not good with, like, I just need to know, because my heart is genuine, but like, I just need to know how to speak to people sometimes. And I'm learning so much in that. So I have to really be careful. So I'm trying to learn to like talk to people about their life first. And it seems to be like I do need to gear it more towards, health and fitness quicker without it, going on. Because a lot of times it's kids related, and it'll be this kid and this kid, and it'll go on for a long time, so lots of learning.
No, I think like one of my favorite quotes that I've heard about network marketing is like, you think that you're going to love what you get out of it, but actually you love what you become, like who you become through it. And I think that's just so true. Like, we're all working on stuff, no matter where you're at, like rank or whatever, like we're always learning. And so I think it's awesome that you're a learner, because a lot of people would say, oh, this is too hard, I'm going to quit. So I think the fact that you're like, I just need to learn. I mean, we all have areas, so don't feel like you're alone in that. You'll figure it out, I have no doubt. And the fact that you're so intentional with people, I mean, is going to really be awesome once they are on your team. So I love that. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time. I always just love seeing you, and I will get the recording up tomorrow. If I don't, someone pester me about it. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.